Hey guys, welcome to Clash Royale, the Clash Royale podcast for casual players. I'm Joe, aka the Boom Man, and today we're going to be doing a special video on the Triple Elixir challenge. So let's just show you the tournament history log, and as you can see, I've played 5 different times. The first 2 got just short, fell just short of 12 wins, got 11 each time, got a nice 9-win game, then went 4, but we'll just not talk about that one. And then we did wind up getting 12 wins on the 5th try. So this was the deck that we used, and the deck was super good. As you can see, it is a Golem Beatdown style deck, and these decks seem to be doing the best in this kind of a format because you don't really have to worry about elixir, right? You're generating elixir at 3 times the normal speed, and you can really just drop a golem down and then build a huge push behind it. And as long as they don't get crazy good value with their troops like AoE spells and tornado executioner, that kind of thing, you can get very good value with this deck. So as you can see, we do have the executioner and the tornado. The combination of those things on defense and even on offense can just be absolutely devastating to your opponent. We do have the golem in there, like I said before. That is the beatdown style. The Night Witch is very good in this style of play. Most people seem to have this in their deck. And the good thing about this is that it causes spells to come out from your opponent because it's generating bats for such a long period of time. The next card is the Baby Dragon. The Baby Dragon in this deck is very good because it allows you to have a tanky troop that doesn't really die, or it's not really susceptible to other lightning spells. The 2 main spells that you see in this style of play is Lightning and Rocket. Now, it does die to the Rocket spell, but the Rocket has a very small radius, so you'd rather take the chance with the Baby Dragon than something like, call it a Mega Minion. Also, the synergy that the Baby Dragon has with the Tornado is just really good. So, if the Executioner is not around, or maybe it's defending another lane, you can always use the Baby Dragon to support with the Tornado. The kicker to this whole deck is the Clone Spell. And the Clone Spell is really good. It can really pack a heavy punch for your opponent as long as you use it at the opportune moment. You can't use it too early in the game because it kind of allows your opponent to know what you're running, and they can save their Tornado or their Poison for when you use it. And to be honest with you, when you run the Clone, if they have a Poison or a Tornado, it pretty much destroys anything that you've just cloned because they only get cloned with 1 health. So that's pretty much the style of play. You basically have to defend as little as possible and just go for the 3 crown. So what I'll do right now is I'll just jump into the last replay of the 3 crown wins that I had gotten. So let me just dive down. This was the 12-win victory game, and we'll watch it. It was a graveyard deck, so it was kind of a cycle Electro Wizard graveyard deck. And as you'll see in this game, I didn't really have a great starting hand because the Golem wasn't there. I couldn't really develop a big push. We'll watch this in 4 times elixir speed, and you can kind of just see how this thing unravels. But, over time, I am getting some good damage. I'm using my Lightning okay, but not very well. And you'll see that my 2 towers get pretty low in a very short period of time. But one thing that I do pretty well is realize that his deck can't stop the beatdown if I build a big enough push, because he really only has Fireball to stop my clone. He doesn't have a Poison, he doesn't have a Tornado. So I realize this right about now, and you'll see the Golem that's going across the right-hand side of the screen. I'm going to start developing a huge push. I drop the Night Witch in the middle. Everything's all over the place. Drop the clone. He can't keep up, and the game is over. So that's a 3 crown win for the 12th victory, and that allowed me to get the 100,000 gold that Supercell decided to give us for this challenge. So it worked out pretty well. So now what we'll do is we'll just dive into 1 or 2 games. As you can see right now, I am currently at 3 wins and 1 loss. I did get all of the one-time rewards already, so there's really nothing else to play for other than to show you the deck, show you how it works, and maybe some quick tips on how to use it. So let's dive right in. We are playing someone named 10 Jonathan. We do have the Golem in this hand, so it is a very good starting hand compared to what I showed you previously. So we'll drop this bad boy down. I probably should have dropped him a little bit further off to the left. And this is going to be a tough one for me. I can see already that he's got the P.E.K.K.A. and I have to Tornado that thing away just to ensure that it doesn't get good value. I did Tornado, that way he could push back, that way I could push back his troops. But I also cloned the Night Witch before, that way I can make sure that the graveyard died. So he's got a little bit of a push going right now, but it's not going to be enough to stop me. He dropped the P.E.K.K.A there, and that's not a really good move for him. He's just going to activate my Night Witches. I'm going to ignore that E-Wiz on the side. It just dies anyway. And then I'm just going to start building another push. I mean, I have a pretty good setup right here. I'm going to bring this guy into the back. That way the Executioner gets good value onto the tower, and hopefully just start another push here. He doesn't have something that can stop me that well. The Golem will die to the P.E.K.K.A, to be honest with you, but he's just going to drop down his graveyard and hope that that's enough for him, but it really shouldn't be. Here's the issue that he's going to have now. He just used his poison without having the ability to kill my Night Witch, so now he's out of luck now. I don't know if he's going to have a really good time killing my troops. I'm going to bring the P.E.K.K.A into this group, that way they all just absolutely destroy it, and you'll see that first tower goes down, and now I'm going to switch to the other tower. The 3-crown victory is fun to do, but it is a lot more risky. So I'll just take the damage. I don't mind taking the damage because I know that I have a bigger push coming my way for him. The E-Wiz is going to get some good value. He might take the tower down, but again, I'm banking on the fact that he's not going to be able to stop me. I'm just going to cycle here. I'm going to throw down another Golem, and then I'm going to just start the push in the middle. He's going to have a tough time with this. He already used the poison. I'm going to clone everything as quick as I can. Hopefully, nah, I didn't get it, but that's okay. I'm going to tornado everything into the center, hopefully get some good value with the AoE splash damage, which seems to be working out pretty well. I've got someone spectating my game, so that usually makes me a little bit more nervous than it does helpful, but we'll see how this kind of plays out. I'm just going to keep putting troops down around the side of the map here, just to ensure that he doesn't get anything good, no good value on anything. I'm just going to preemptively lightning here. Hopefully that'll take out his troops, and we have another 3-crown win. So that's one game. Maybe we'll just dive into one more game. We'll see how that works out, and then we'll call it. So we're at 4 wins right now. Let's see if we can get the 5th win. Hopefully, again, I have the Golem in hand. I do not this time. So usually a safe bet is to drop the Executioner down. I'll drop it on the same side that his Baby Dragon is on. I'm not going to group these guys up, so I'm going to bring this into the center tower here. And then hopefully the Night Witch will just clean up the rest of those guys. And then on the other side, I'm just going to start my main push. He's going to get some damage in, of course. But at the end of the day, he's not going to really be able to deal with this push. I do have the lightning ready for the dragon. So again, he already used the poison. The baby dragon is going to do some good work onto my guys. But again, the clone is just too much to deal with. The bats are just so hard. He did use his arrows. Now he's going to have to deal with, yet again, another form of bats when the Night Witch goes down. So this is not an easy matchup for him. And usually the Inferno Dragon is a pretty good counter to the Golem, but not always. And so he's going to keep on pushing in. I'm going to bring everything into the center here, get the Executioner and the Baby Dragon, plus the 2 towers or 3 towers to get some damage in. I'm going to lightning this guy just because I don't want him to kill my big troop. He might get it down anyway, but we'll see what happens. I'm just going to clone this, see how that works. He's going to use the log. It's going to activate my 1 Night Witch. So, again, he's going to have a really hard time defending this because I don't really care which tower I get down as long as I get one of them down, and it seems to be working out in my favor. So he's dropping things down in the center of the map, which is okay for him, but he's not going to be able to build up a push with that. And that's pretty much what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to prevent his big pushes. I'm going to have to defend this or probably die. If the Inferno Dragon connects to the tower, I can't do too much. It's kind of annoying. But I'm just going to keep on defending here. I don't have too much to worry about at this point. He is using cards at the bridge, so I can just use the Tornado and the Executioner to clean those up. And even if he gets a little bit of damage on my tower, it's not going to be enough to kill me. So I'm going to activate these guys. Oh, no. Well, that actually worked out. I thought that my clone was... I thought my lightning was actually a clone spell, but it wasn't. But he wound up throwing the E-Wiz there. So, I mean, even with a mess up, I might get some pretty good damage in on this tower. And actually, he's in range to die, and he dies. So that worked out. Not the cleanest of games, but at the end of the day, as long as you pull off the victory, that's all that matters. But as you can see in both of these games, we'll just quickly look at the 2 people that I faced. One person did have an Ice Golem, which is really good against the clone, and also, like I said before, the poison. Now, you know, the poison wasn't a really high level, but when you're dealing with a clone spell, it doesn't matter what level it is, as long as it does 1 damage, it can do the job. So I really had to make sure that the clone spell went off after the poison did. And in the second game, he didn't really have the opportunity to do too much because a hog in a triple elixir challenge isn't the best of choices. It can be countered by a lot of things, and if he's not able to outcycle me, then he can't really do too much, and you were able to see that in this game. But as you can see with this deck, it is super good. It is a beatdown style deck, and as long as you take advantage of when your opportunities come up and you can use your clone spell appropriately, it's really, really hard for your opponent to do too much with. Things that actually counter this deck really well are Executioner, Tornado, Poison, and the Giant Skeleton. I mean, the Giant Skeleton is just one of those cards where it destroys everything behind a big tank. So if you do wind up facing one of those decks, you're going to have to make sure that you switch lanes every once in a while, because if you just throw everything behind the Golem, unfortunately the Giant Skeleton is gonna destroy you. So play quick, build up a huge push, try not to defend too much, don't waste all of your elixir defending, and you can 3-crown, and we were able to see that with these decks. So I hope that this video was helpful. Hope you're able to use this deck and get 12 wins in the Triple Elixir Challenge. Be sure to let me know how it works out for you, and maybe you can get 100,000 gold, thanks to Supercell. Can always help to level up a few cards, right? So that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and be sure to tune in next time for another hodgepodge of everything. Boom.